It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, hour 6 of your 10-hour shift at the bar. Your bladder is on the verge of exploding. Your arms and legs feel like jelly. Every muscle in your body is on fire, and your shoe has rubbed a very painful blister on your foot. You look around and you notice all your bar guests seem content for the moment, so you seek an opportunity to run to the restroom. So as you try to escape from behind the bar, someone taps you on your shoulder and asks for their bill. You smile, you run your credit card, you thank them and tell them have a wonderful night. Now, you can pee. You run to the back, headed to the restroom, only to see that the wings for table 5 are now ready. So you grab the wings, you take them to the very impatient table. Now they want 2 more beers. All you want to do is pee. You go pour their beers, and you notice the receipt from the people who just left. The people whom you just thanked. The people whom you just bent over backwards for the past hour for. A $68 tab and no tip in sight. This happens more often than you think. For the past 19 years, I have been considered a tipped worker and have experienced firsthand the struggle of not having a fixed income. Since October of 2000, I have worked at 4 different restaurants, both as a server and a bartender. Right now, the hospitality industry is booming. The sales and economic forecast projected a positive sales growth of $863 billion this year alone. Yet this particular industry has a highly competitive business environment. Technology and food preferences are always evolving, and consumer demand remains high. Unfortunately, fully staffing an establishment can be extremely challenging. Now, why is this? From research and my personal experiences, keeping valued employees is rare, employee turnover rates are extremely high, and tipped workers are simply not paid enough. Most tipped employees are paid well below the minimum wage. Here in Maryland, the tipped wage is $3.63 an hour, but these wages vary state by state, anywhere from $2 to $7 an hour. These amounts remain unchanged since 1991. Tipped workers are required by law to claim tips as income. Because of this law, your hourly wage is taken by taxes and you solely live off your tips. The co-founder and co-director of Restaurant Opportunity Center United, Saru Jaraman, quotes for an article on The Guardian. When you earn a wage of $2 or $5, you don't actually earn a wage at all. Your wage is so low, it entirely goes to taxes, and you get a pay stub that says, this is not a paycheck. It says $0, and you live off your tips. This here is living proof. My personal paycheck from 2 weeks worth of work, $0. In 2017, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported the average restaurant server earned approximately $25,000 with a nationwide range of $17,000 to $50,000. 13% of tipped workers live on poverty-level incomes. Most establishments limit on offering paid time off, sick, holiday, and vacation pay. Only 23% of service workers are compensated if they are too sick to work, making the employee take the day off without pay. By law, tips should add up to at least the federal minimum wage. If they do not add up to it, it is the employer's responsibility to compensate the difference. In many cases, this puts the service workers at risk for wage theft. The Department of Labor's Wage and Division reported almost 84% of full-service restaurants investigated between 2010 and 2012 had violated labor standards, including wage and tip violations. Many high-profile restaurants have paid out millions of dollars to settle lawsuits due to unpaid wages. These include not paying overtime, paying employees a tipped wage for non-tipped work, failing to give appropriate breaks for meals, and making them work off the clock. Although tipping is not a universal practice, it is a borrowed custom from England. It originated back in the taverns of 17th century England. Drinkers would slip money to the waiters to ensure promptitude, or TIP, tip for short. Tipping was introduced to the U.S. in the late 1800s after the Civil War and was used to prove higher education and class. When you live off your tips, you are relying on the public to pay your bills. You will have your good days and you will have your bad days. In a perfect world, any given tip should be between 15 to 20% of the original price of the bill. but why don't some people not tip at all? According to Dr. Michael Lynn, a nationally recognized expert and associate professor at Cornell University's School of Hotel Administration, says that 40% of people aren't even aware of how to tip. Some other people may not believe in tipping at all, these factors being cultural or economic. Some may refuse to leave a tip, perhaps for poor service. Others are simply downright ignorant and feeling superior to the people that cater to them. Former Miss New York, Shannon Lako, feels that everyone should be a server for at least 1 year. On her personal blog, Generation Granny, she sadly states, "Waiting tables or bartending has a lowly reputation, as though only uneducated and desperate people would dare to choose a job that revolves around giving other people a nice experience while sharing a meal or drinks together." Working in this industry has its pros and its cons. These jobs can be mentally and physically draining, requiring long hours on your feet, heavy lifting, interacting with many customers daily, and facing plenty of stressful situations. You also spend many nights, weekends, and holidays away from your loved ones. Yet, your hours are flexible, leaving you with extra time during the week to focus on other passions. It is considered fast money, so you leave with cash after every shift. And you gain tons of life skills such as multitasking, managing others, and learning how to deal with numerous personalities. Most importantly, you gain a respect for people knowing what goes on behind the scenes. If tipping was mandatory, a few important aspects of your dining experience would change for the better. Industry workers would not only be guaranteed compensation for their time, they would be gaining more respect for their work, making the overall experience more pleasant for the customer. Every guest would be treated equally, and the chance of any type of discrimination would be omitted. So the next time you dine out, remember, we are people just like you, providing for ourselves and for our families. Notice your surroundings and how hard we are working for you. No tip goes unrecognized. And as I speak not only for myself, I speak for all the tipped employees nationwide. We will be grateful.